Patreon, Patreon, Patreon. Thank you for rocking with your girl from here to beyond. I was just rhyming. So, if you caught the live stream, ooh, I'm breathing hard. That's not good. I need to start working out again. I started kind of talking about money in Africa. It's a really serious thing, and just being transparent, I saw a lot of people who are leaving because of money. And to be honest with you, your girl is stressed out because of money, because I'm constantly working for what I get in. And there's so much being asked. I think that I'm moving towards a more entrepreneur mindset. And because I'm in this entrepreneur mindset, there's a lot of things that I see, a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of missed conversations, and missed mindset. So I'm really spending pretty much September, but preparing my mind for like this new elevation. So all of that caused me to go to sleep. But I tell you, I slept for 12 hours. I slept from like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Your girl was just knocked out. Woke up at 6 a.m. and was like, I got to get this out. So I just started writing. And I am no place to be, and I'll put that in the book, like a financial guru. I am just telling you what I see, what I know, and what I would change and what I would do in hindsight. And for Patreon, I want to have some of these conversations with you guys because you're paying, and now that I see that, it's the investment for the extra mile, that you're putting your money into what you believe. Me, thank you. But it's a kind of a different mindset. You're coming in and you're saying that this is valuable information that needs to be known and it means something to me. So the very first thing I really talked about is the idea of investing. And investing to me is such a big word. If I'm being transparent, when you talk about people who are investors, I am constantly seeing like Shark Tank. I'm seeing people who have so much money in their accounts that they are demanding presence. And the word investor, investing made me feel small because I sometimes have to calculate my McDonald's trip. Like, don't go over 972. You can't go over 972. And the investing piece was something that was kind of brought up to me almost 10 years ago, and I noticed I always kind of shrank away. And in the truth of the matter is that even in me being scary or whatever else or not, the time that I chose to invest, it wasn't a smart investment. It wasn't a smart investment for me, but I try to make it seem like it was smart, and I did all the research. But if you're going to be new out there, I think that you should go ahead and try like little bitty systems that are already in place. So you can be in the situation where if you lose a big investment, it doesn't murder you or kill you, and it doesn't turn you off and scar you. It's kind of like the first time, let's say you went in on a date with a certain type of female, and now, oh, like that's, you don't date. I do not date dudes whose name, like I have blocked the name out my head because it's so bad. Ronnie's, Ronald's, and like there was just a streak in my life where Ronnie's, Larone, Roan, Roddy Richardson's, like them R's, y'all can kiss my ass. Even now, if I meet a dude named Ronnie, like, hey girl, God told me you the one. God did not tell you you the one because you would have hollered at me with your middle name. Like, scarred, like Luke scarred. But what happens is, no matter what, we go through scars. And so when you get into investing, if you make some of the wrong decisions, you got to know what it is. And so people talk about being a big risk investor, being a low risk investor, all those things. I want to talk first about, you have to get into the mindset of investing. You have to get into the mindset of you that your money can work for you when you're not working for it. You have to get into the mindset that there are entities and things in place that can turn around and build you something for a time that you can't foresee yet. And I say that not thinking about cryptocurrency. Yes, that's out there. When I try to understand cryptocurrency, I am thoroughly confused. If somebody wants to sit down and talk me through it, that is not a problem. What I realized is I don't think that's where my heart or my mind is right now. Now, 3 years from the line, possibly. Stocks, I did Robinhood And I was kind of doing that for a little bit, penny pinching stuff. I couldn't do that. I could not see daily tracking of my stuff going up and down. Stress levels, because I'm still in the mindset where I calculate everything. If I'm calculating 9.78 at McDonald's is this, then anytime something dipped past $1 or whatever, I was in panic mode. And so for me, at that time, stocks and bonds is not for me. In fact, if I were to go into that industry, I want to have enough income in other places that I can allow to have myself either a broker or a financial person who watches that for me, because I don't work well with that type of anxiety. But what can happen are these different avenues. I had heard like 4 years ago about P2P loans, and I hate the fact that I was this close to signing up and seeing if I can do it, and I walked away because I was looking so hard at the risk versus the reward. Also, now there are these companies that have agribusiness where you can invest in a farm and you get some of those profits. I think there's a lot more research, because what's crazy to me is that as much as I'm not down for playing the stock market, you should see me playing the agricultural fields. Like, I love it. I have different farms. I'm like, okay, what's the corn going to do? Like, let me look at the weather. And for me, it's not as big as a loss, because I believe in agriculture. I believe in that sustainability. I believe, so I'm not looking at the bottom line. I'm looking at the turnaround. And in that, my money is growing. And I was able to get in at a low piece. But I would have probably dug up $1,000 or $2,000 if I had to. I got in starting at $40. And now I'm in at 300. Like, I'm starting new. Like, these are things I'm learning. But the whole key and concept for investing was, like, I had to change that mind shift and set and start thinking more entrepreneur. And while I'm working and busting my tail now, I can't continue doing this for 20 years. So what is working for me? Like, I have this amount of energy. Like, if I look at my money at 100%, okay, I'm living off 80% to 70%, and that's taking care of the now. That's taking care of the Airbnb, that's taking care of the housing, that's taking care of people's salary. It's taking care of the now. What's taking care of the later? And that's where the investment piece comes in to me, where it was like, okay, I'm now making money move to take care of the later. I'm going to try to see if I can call my homegirl and set up my retirement fund, because I was supposed to do it like 3 years ago and I didn't. So I need to know what those numbers are to set that up. And I know it's going to be higher because I'm older, but I want things to be moving in that direction. And that's one reason why I say it's important for you to think Africa, because what are you going to do when you can't walk anymore? Even if I have, like I said, my majority income comes from working. It comes from a job. I will never disrespect that job because it is funding my dreams. Okay, well, I can kind of disrespect it. It's just they do stupid stuff. But I have to recognize that in my portfolio life, majority of my income comes in from a job. I work for it. I am building businesses. My goal is in the next 2 years to change those two percentages. So like if I turn around and said 100%. Okay, 10% right now is going into investing. 10-ish. 10%. I need to put another 10% into just saving, which I now count that as emergencies or situations that I could not see. That leaves me 80%. So out of income, I think I'm doing my percentages wrong. I have to go back. But then out of my income right now, if I go back to 100%, 70% comes from my job. And then 20 comes from J Essence. 10 comes from my cousin connection. Those are my percentages. I need to switch those around in the next year. I'm claiming it. Next year, I want to at least be 50. Yeah, I'll be 30, 30, 30. 30, that's not 100. 30, 40, 30. Something like that. We'll see. But that U.S. money is golden, so I still might be at 50, 25. Whatever. You know what? Let me say this. God, take my numbers. God, take my percentages, and bless them and hold them over and make them do. And then I'm gonna do an output of where my income goes, like which percentages housing, business, investing, saving, like that piece. Those are the two numbers. I'm glad I'm talking to you guys about this to figure these out and move forward. So that's part of the book, but I wanted to break down the concept of investing because you need it out here. If you don't have that mindset out here, you're going to be a consumer and you're going to constantly be giving, and spending so other people can eat and you can, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you want to get into a position where, I'm going to say this right, like you're feeding other people without figuring out if you're starving yourself. That's where you want to get. You want to be able to know that there's enough food on the table, that that bill that I owe you is a surplus. That thing that I want is a surplus. Like, the house is taken care of. That these things are handled. And so with that, and then I have like one outstanding loan which I need to pay off, and like those things, I want to stop robbing Peter to pay Paul and make sure that this is my kingdom. This is my queendom. That's what I say. This is my queendom. And this is what my queendom would look like. So that's it. I hope you guys kind of get it. But you see the stuff that I'm going towards in writing. And 30 days. Yes, I'm adding it into the energy. But I'm going to get this ebook and Excel sheet. I really want to see if I can create like a savings queue, like two, really, one of saving towards your goal, which is Africa Home. Like, what does it look like, and like what part is investing, so you can start building that extra, or create a 401k. And then the other is the saving to get here, and it looks different. And then the other piece is the expenditures of home, so you can track what you're doing and seeing where majority of your money is going, and making that accountable, especially your first 3 to 6 months. Like, just kind of figuring out what your financial imprint is in the place that you are. All right, peace.